Hey everybody, welcome back to my Project 13. Thanks for coming on by and checking out this video. Appreciate your time and your support. The Google Pixel Watch, battery life. The conversation continues. And it goes on and on and on. It's all over the web. It's all over YouTube. It's everywhere. So I'm going to give you an update to an update. And what that means is about a little over a week ago, I put up an update video. I think it was during the early morning vlog. And shared some information with you, my experience with the Pixel Watch up until that point, since Google sent it to me. Huge shout out, hashtag Team Pixel. And basically everything is still the same. Now, I'm using a little more on the watch than I was at that point in time, but I'm still getting about a day and a half to 2 days battery life, which is great for me. Now, is it as great as the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5? No, the Watch 5 gets a little bit more than that. But honestly, both watches bring something different to the table as far as how the software presents the different tools that you can utilize on each of the watches. But either way, I'm having a great time with both. As a solo watch, the Pixel Watch, again, thumbs up when it comes to battery life. But remembering that I'm probably a small group, I'm probably in a small group of people that don't do a heck of a lot. I'm doing a little more than I was a week ago. But there's a lot of you that utilize a lot on your watch. So I understand why the conversation goes on. Oh, by the way, I will be reading an article over at XDA Developers, sharing that information with you. Because Google says you can achieve 24 hours of battery life on your Google Pixel Watch. Now, this is Google's first attempt in the smartwatch world. And honestly, I think they did a really, really good job. There's two areas that I feel, in my opinion, they missed an opportunity with this watch being a first ever from Google. And that is the price point. $350, a little too high. $300, that's doable. Maybe even a little less. And not having two variants. The smaller one and a bigger one. Well, not that big, but you know what I'm talking about. And hopefully that's something that can happen next year. And I've talked about that in other videos, especially the update video on the Google Pixel Watch. But for what I do on here, and during the update, I didn't have the Fitbit app. I do now have the Fitbit app. I do have the sleep tool activated. What else do I have on here? The weather, my heart rate, steps. There's my sleep, which I got 7 hours. I get all my notifications. I have always on display on, 30-second timeout. There's a lot going on with this watch that I have going on to where, from what has been talked about in battery life, having those areas on is going to not give me the best battery life. But a day and a half to almost 2 days, for me, that's great. But some of you are going to say, well, that's not great. You should be able to get this. And if you were sporting this watch from this company, you would get this. Well, remember, I do have the Samsung Galaxy Watch 5. And yes, the battery life on there is better. But to me, this isn't bad. And I don't mind. Even, here's the thing. At the end of the day, I just charge it. Get up in the morning, take it off the charger, and I go. I'm not going to take off my watch and just put it down here on my YouTube desk or my nightstand. I charge everything, man, at night. So when the reviewing process is said and done, that's what I'm going to do. I'm only doing these tests to give you how long, in my experience, how long the Google Pixel Watch actually goes, as far as what I do with it. And when it starts to get down to where there's no juice left in the battery. That's what I report, right? The way it's going to happen is at the end of the evening, I'm going to just charge it and wake up in the morning, take it off the charger. But anyway, what I'm actually here to do is read an article over at XDA Developers titled, Google Explains How It Achieves 24-Hour Battery Life with the Pixel Watch. Google explains how it achieved 24-hour battery life while testing the Pixel Watch. I will leave a link for this article down below in the description area. Hit the link, it'll send you over to XDA developers. So apparently a lot of you have been doing this wrong. And you can look at this in a very serious way or kind of like, what? It's up to you. After I read it, I'll edit in some screenshots of the article so you can read along with me. And then I'd just like to hear back from you down below in the comment section, the information that I'm going to read to you, what your thoughts are and your opinions. Google announced its new Pixel hardware at the top of the month, releasing it the very next week to eager consumers. While the Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro have received favorable reviews, the Pixel Watch is a bit of a mixed bag, with a majority of reviews stating that battery life is, well, to be frank, terrible. So if Google is rating the watch to last up to 24 hours, you kind of start to wonder how it is achieving these numbers. So in other words, how is Google getting 24 hours, but some of you out there, you're barely getting that. I don't know the exact hours for me, but it's me using it a full day, going to bed, putting it on the next morning, usually right around like 43%. I've noticed that percentage a lot. And then getting through the day sometimes and sometimes not. So let me continue. Luckily, Google explains how it achieves 24-hour battery life with the Pixel Watch. According to Google Pixel Watch help page, its 24-hour battery life rating is based on the following. So please read all the information here with the screenshot that I edited in for you to read. 240 notifications, 280 time checks, a 5-minute LTE phone call, 45-minute LTE and GPS workout with downloaded YouTube music playback, 50 minutes of navigation Google Maps while connected to a phone via Bluetooth. The watch configured with the default settings, including the always on display set to off. Mine is always on. And I like it always on. It bam, right there. So in a 24-hour time span, the watch was tested using its default settings, which I'm not going by that because I already talked about what my settings are pretty much set at as far as what's on or what's off. And there's a lot more that I didn't talk about, but I gave you a basic overall information on that. Set at its default settings and with the AOD feature turned off. Furthermore, the watch received 240 notifications and the time was checked 280 times, which is quite an extraordinary amount. During its testing, it also took a 5-minute phone call, did 50 minutes worth of navigation, and did 45 minutes of workouts. Of course, everyone's going to have a different usage, right? That's just, the stats on that are going to be different. So an opinion really can't be given with regard to Google's testing methods. If there is one thing that's constant with achieving great battery life on any wearable, and not just the Pixel Watch, it's that turning off the AOD will yield substantially more battery life than having the AOD on. On its help page, Google does recommend battery saver mode or full dose mode, which I do not utilize, if you're trying to save battery life. It also has a breakdown of its settings that could improve battery life on the Pixel Watch. If interested, you can now purchase the watch starting at $349. So yeah, it's always going to be different for you than it is for me. And again, I'm not going to go 2-3 days without charging anything that I have, whether it's a smartphone or a smartwatch. I'm just going to charge everything at night, wake up in the morning, start using it. And for what I'm using, utilize it. As far as the tools with my watch, almost 2 days is great. And again, that's me purposely testing that out for all of you. Give me some feedback. Let's talk about this. Appreciate your time. Till my next video. This is my Project 13. Peace. I am out.